Okay, we're going to go back into open session, and we'll start open session as always with the Pledge of Allegiance, salute to the Texas flag, and a moment of silence. Please stand. Sorry, sir.
Commissioner Post colors, sir.
Post.
Order. Arm. Aye. Hey. Over. Arm. Left. 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 Right. Left. 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 Right. Left. 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 Right. Left. Left. Right. Other direction. Pull. Right. Hey. Oh. Oh. Hey, stand. Arm.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Order. Order. Arm. Left. Hey. Forward. Arm. Left. Left. Forward. Arm.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, Dr. Fagan, do we have any commendations, recognitions?
Yes, thank you. We're going to start with tonight's inspiring moments. Humble IC is committed to serving the whole child. That commitment was seen in action on Saturday, April 29th at the Humble ISD Lone Star College Fine Arts Festival. It was my first visit to the festival, and I was so impressed. I want to thank the teachers and volunteers who make the festival happen, and also thank Lone Star College Kingwood for their partnership. Tonight's inspiring moment provides a glimpse of what occurred at this truly extraordinary community event.
Welcome to the Fine Arts Festival!
The festival is going on today, and this is actually such a special day because when we started this whole thing, we wanted families in our community to be able to enjoy the arts. And when I walk around and see adults with their children and their toddlers and grandparents, and they're all involved in the arts. They're making art, they're going to the performances, and they're all happy.
A giant thing. Well, it is all because of the vision of Stacy. And I was talking to Dr. Moore. What he does is he makes handcrafted domino sets, and these are a labor of love. And he made one for you, and he would like for you to have it. And he asked me to give it to you.
My favorite thing about art is that you can be creative and you can do anything with art.
I remember my daughter seeing her artwork for the first time, hanging up with everybody else's, and just being amazed at, look at mine, and look how good it looks with everybody else's, and just how impressed they were, and how she just lit up and felt so special to have that experience, to see an official art show and her be a part of it.
This is a fully juried art show here at the festival, and it is our biggest art show of the year. So these kids have been working for months in the classroom on these pieces. We come out, we professionally get them set up here so everybody can come and witness it, and then they get to come here and see that work displayed in front of all of those people.
The K through 12 art that is exhibited in this show is amazing. It's inspiring. And I actually had a student worker last year who told me she remembers coming to the art festival when she was 5 or 6 years old. So we've gotten to that point where our students remember coming here as a child.
All right, I'd like to introduce and recognize some of the stars of tonight's video who are in the audience with us. First, Houston Hayes, Director of Fine Arts. There he is. And Stacy Gower, Visual Art Coordinator and the person responsible for the creation of the Arts Festival. It was really incredible. I couldn't stop tweeting about it, so I apologize if you were following me that day. Because there was just so much going on, and it wasn't just an art show, it was so much more than that. So very impressive. Thank you very much, Houston and Stacy, for all that you did to make that part of our school district. Next, I would like to introduce Jerry Monbaron for the super staffers.
Campuses and departments select an individual to be honored as a super staffer for their outstanding work in advancing student achievement. A drawing is held and 3 honorees receive additional recognition at the school board meeting, including a $200 gift card to Pappas Restaurants thanks to an award sponsor. The sponsor for this month's Super Staffer Awards is Gulf Coast Educators Federal Credit Union. And joining me up front is Julia Arsenault, their Business Development Manager. Thank you. Being honored tonight as the elementary super staffer is Kim Stevens from Atascocita Springs Elementary. Joining her up front is her principal, Kathy Sheely, and her children. Come on up. Not Kathy's children, Kim's children. Mrs. Stevens is an amazing kindergarten teacher at ASC. She is dependable and creative and always offers the best ideas during team planning. Kim is willing to help out whatever is needed and is amazing in her classroom. She engages students with fun, hands-on learning and builds relationships with each of them by showing them how much they mean to her. She never gives up on kiddos and works diligently to provide needed accommodations for their success, even the most challenging situations. Her patience and dedication to her kids is undeniable, and her flexibility deserves recognition. She is respected and loved by her team and gets along with everyone. Although she may be J.J. Watt's #1 fan, she is her class's #1 fan. Congratulations. So being honored as the secondary super staffer tonight is Tiffany Moraine from the Community Learning Center. And joining her up front is her principal, Tammy Alexander. And this is what was written about Miss Moraine. She's also known as Miss Booksy because she is a librarian at Community Learning Center, and she engages all of her students in fun, relevant, interesting learning activities every week. Not only does she read to the Early Learning Center students, she also provides interactive lessons for the DAP, PACE, and Cambridge students. For example, on San Jacinto Day, all students were invited to the library where Miss Moraine was dressed as Susanna Dickinson, survivor of the Alamo, and she told stories of the battle. Miss Moraine makes reading fun for everyone. Being honored as the support super staffer tonight is Renee Beck from Campus and Department Support Manager, Financial Department. joining her up front is the Director of Accounting and Financial Reporting, Ida Schultze, her direct report. So a lot was written about Renee. I'm not going to be able to read all of it, but it is a wonderful testament to what she does for our district. I've given her the book so she can take it home and read it later. But here's a little bit what was written. Renee Beck has been with the district for 7 years and served in several roles. Currently, she's the manager of the campus and department support team, which serves as a liaison between campus bookkeepers, accountants, and the financial services division. Leading a team of 12 staff members, Renee works tirelessly to provide training and improve processes. She's a true advocate for them. So Trey Kramer, Assistant Superintendent of High Schools, says, campus accountants are a critical component for our high schools, and Renee does an outstanding job working with the group. This year, she has stepped up beyond the call of duty to help a high school campus during the transition of getting a new accountant. She spent several days a week on campus assisting administrators and teachers with their budget needs. Job well done, Renee. And it goes on, but thank you very much, Renee, for all that you do.
Next, we have accommodation tonight for a Kingwood Middle School student who has won a National Writing Award. I would like to invite Principal Bob Atterbury to share some information about this national recognition for student Riley Franklin.
Thank you so much for having us tonight. Here's Riley Franklin, this Miss Rosario, her mom, and her third grade teacher in elementary, which she attributes a lot of her success to. We're here tonight to celebrate, commend KMS sixth grade student Riley Franklin for her PTA Reflections entry she entered in the fall. Her Reflections entry theme was, "What's Your Story?" She spent about 40 hours taking photographs of animals and wrote her story into a 25-page book full of literature and beautiful photographs. She was awarded by Humboldt ISD PTA for entries in literature and photography, which advanced the state level. She was awarded the overall award of excellence by the Texas PTA and was honored by Lisa Holcomb, Texas PTA president, this last Saturday, May 6th in San Antonio at the Texas PTA Awards ceremony. The National PTA also just announced that Riley Franklin was awarded the Award of Excellence in Literature, which is the highest award in her category. She will receive a $200 Young Artist Scholarship at the National Convention at the Las Vegas Parisian Hotel in June as a part of her honors. She also will be invited to participate at the National PTA Opening Celebration ceremony in January. On behalf of Kingwood Middle School and Humboldt ISD, please help me honor and applaud Riley Franklin.
Okay. It is a long-standing tradition for outgoing board members to receive a commemorative bowl for their years of service on the board. And tonight, it's a kind of a bittersweet moment where we have not one but two bowls to present. First, we have a bowl to present to Mr. Brent Engelage for dedicated leadership as a member of the Humble ISD Board of Trustees from 2008 to 2017, including as board president from 2013 to 2014. Brent, if you can come down and join us.
Stand by Heath's decorations. I didn't need decorations. Hit my head and dropped it. Dang. Don't tell my kid.
And I'm going to reserve any of my statements regarding Brent and Heath up from the board table when we have an opportunity to talk during our turn in the agenda. But next, to Heath Rushing for his dedicated leadership as a member of the Humble ISD Board of Trustees from 2013 to 2017. We have a bowl for you too, Mr. Rushing. Okay, next on the agenda, we have questions and comments by patrons or employees of the district regarding agenda items or any other matters. Because we have a number of folks that want to speak tonight, we're going to stick to a strict 5-minute clock. And Mr. Cunningham, I'll ask you to keep that time. And
sir.
Thank you. And we'll start with Mr. Rehak, Bob Rehak.
My name is Bob Rehak, and I'm from Kingwood. I have several related questions about various budget items. First, I'd like to call your attention to agenda item 7E in the spreadsheet called Revenues and Expenditures as of April 30th, 2017. This spreadsheet shows that the board originally budgeted expenditures of $352.5 million. In the next column, it shows the amended budget of $403.5 million, about a $50 million increase. And in the next column, it shows that year to date, the district has only spent about $256 million of that. In the last column, it shows the percent of the amended budget spent so far as 62%. Now I'd like to compare that to the budget summary dated May 9th. I'm quoting from page 1 of the spreadsheet labeled A2 on agenda item 7D. In the last column under expenditures, it shows that you're adopting a proposed amended budget of $403.9 million. In other words, you're exceeding the original budget of $352.5 by $51.4 million. That's about a 15% increase. When I look at the itemized expenditures underneath that, I see about a $5 million increase in instruction, but a $25 million increase in maintenance and operations, a $3.5 million increase in security and monitoring, and a $9 million increase in data processing services. Percentage-wise, that amounts to about a 2% increase for instruction, a 75% increase for maintenance and operations, and a 90% increase for security, and a whopping 175% increase in data processing. My questions are, why are such huge increases necessary, number one, and number two, are you sure you have your priorities right within the budget? Finally, I'd like to call your attention to some other estimate increases from two other spreadsheets. The first concerns goods, professional services, and non-construction services. The second pertains to construction and construction-related services. Together, they contain almost $1.4 million of increases. One estimate increased 350%. What causes such huge estimate increases from vendors? Thank you in advance for any information you can give me.
Thank you, Mr. Rehak. Courtney Ava.
I'm a little shorter. Okay, good evening. First, I'd like to congratulate Robert, Angela, and Charles on your re-election. As you know, you have all been elected and charged with a very important role in our district. I think we all know this election season has not been pretty. An election that should have been nonpartisan was fought with fear-mongering and villainizing others. Politics is politics, but nobody in our district should fear any of the candidates that ran in this election. All of the candidates who ran have a lot to offer the district, and I hope that their involvement will be welcome in the future. So where do we go from here? I find myself standing on a line that was drawn in the sand. On one side of the line, we have those who see real issues that need to be addressed while discounting our successes by focusing on our areas that need improvement. On the other side, we have those who want to focus on our district's successes and think pointing out problems is devaluing our district and good work that happens here. Both sides have merit, however, neither reflects a whole or accurate image of our district. We need to look objectively at our strengths and weaknesses and work together to solve the challenges our district faces. This is when critical thinking, collaboration, and problem solving take place. People will have questions. This doesn't make us negative, but rather shows that we are constantly reflecting and looking for ways to improve. I ask that you embrace this notion and understand that you will not bring the community together by blocking people from the conversation. As a board, you approved the portrait of a graduate, which includes the desire for students to become leaders and collaborators, critical thinkers, and communicators. I chose these three characteristics to point out because I strongly believe that as a board and as a community, we must come together to model these for our children. One of you spoke to me during early voting about the need for healing after the election. Let's not just talk about it and let's make it happen. I have some ideas to help with the healing process and will reach out to you with those ideas. It is going to take the board working with the entire community to heal. I am excited about the ideas that have been flowing through our district this year, and I want the whole community to feel that excitement. It's time to move forward and let the healing begin. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Lohit Dadabaru.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak here. What I say here, you may not remember after the meeting, or it may not matter, but I'll speak from my heart. My name is Lohit Dadabaru. First of all, I want to congratulate Mr. Sitton, Mr. Cunningham, Ms. Conrad, and Ms. Dixon for their successful run. Now I want the new board to get down to the real business, and that business of education. And with immediate focus on the low-performing schools on the south side of our district. It is very important that we cannot have lopsided progress. I do not want to see our community divided and labeled as North and South. We must be one cohesive community with only one goal, that is education of our children and nothing else. Secondly, I want to thank those community members and voters and helpers and campaign workers. I thank you for supporting me from the bottom of my heart. I become emotional when I read many emails and messages that I have received after the election and the encouragement. Some of them are asking me to run again. But no, I'm not planning to run again. But I want to urge that there needs to be civility in our election. I'm sure you all will agree with that. What example do we set in front of our children when we talk about Muslim, baby killer, and so on and so forth? Those words do not have a place in our school board election. Hate and bully do not have place in our education system. So I hope going forward we'll keep it really, really civil. And I'm not urging only the board members and their supporters or candidate supporters, also the community as a whole. We must maintain a civil society. So what I want, that we, leaving aside those words, leaving aside those kind of feelings, we must focus on the real issues of performance of the children, cost control, Title I schools, special needs students, 504 students, clear communication with the community, and eliminating any fear of reprisal by our teachers to express their concerns. It is a concern to me. And finally, thirdly, I have a few dollars left in my campaign fund, and I can assure you these are hard-earned dollars from my relatives and close friends. There is not a penny from any party or PAC. So what's left, I want to contribute to the district and specifically to a Title I school, namely North Belt Elementary. And it's a small check. It's $261.53. Perhaps I can give it to the president. Okay?
Or the
I've written
superintendent.
the check already.
Yes.
Otherwise-
Or the superintendent.
Yeah.
Yes. You may, well, we can talk about that
Right.
later, Lohit.
And finally, I'm addressing the community as a whole. It'll be an understatement if I say I have a disappointment with the voter turnout. 3 to 5% voter turnout reflects poorly on a democratic process. How can we brag ourselves to be the biggest democracy when people don't come out to vote? And if you do not vote, your voices will be muted by special interests. So please do come out to vote in future elections. I expect to see 30 to 40%, at least 30 to 40% voters come out, not 3%. Now, having said that, I want to see this community, again, I'm repeating, I want to see this community come together and do their civic duty. Right to vote is a privilege, and we must not take it lightly, for which many fought and died. So that's all I have to say, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we have Jessica Fleming and Nate Hickman from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality with HISD colleagues from Transportation, Jeff Prowl and Mark Schwackhammer.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. Nate and I are from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, specifically the TURP program.
The Texas Emissions Reduction Plan, or TERP for short, is a program of the TCEQ. TERP provides incentive grants to reduce nitrogen oxide emissions from mobile sources. In addition to supporting grant programs that encourage the use of alternative fuels for transportation in Texas, TERP supports a variety of other grant programs with the overall goal of keeping the air in Texas clean. The Texas Clean Fleet Program is administered by the TERP program to promote the early retirement of old diesel vehicles and replace them with newer, cleaner burning vehicles powered by natural gas. Humble ISD was selected to receive a Texas Clean Fleet grant in the amount of $1,111,883 to replace 20 diesel school buses with 20 liquid petroleum gas school buses. During the 5-year activity life of the project, Humble ISD is projected to prevent over 11.2 tons of nitrogen oxides from entering the Texas air. So it is with great pleasure that we present this grant to Humble ISD. Thank you for helping to keep the air clean in Texas.
Okay. Okay, I don't even need to announce you guys. You're next.
All right, thank you, board members and Dr. Fagan, for the opportunity to make some brief comments. It's an honor and privilege to stand before you for the 3rd consecutive year to announce that Humble ISD has once again been named as one of the best 100 fleets in the Americas. The journey to being named one of the best 100 fleets in North America began in 2014 when the board approved the hiring of 4 additional mechanics. This single act has had a tremendous impact on our ability to maintain the fleet and fulfill our mission of providing safe and punctual transportation for our students. In addition, the board has approved several bus purchases, camera replacements, a new fleet maintenance software, and the addition of GPS. All of these have had a tremendous impact on our being named one of the best 100 fleets in the Americas. In 2015, Humble ISD was ranked number 91. 2016, Humble ISD was ranked number 85. This year, we made a significant jump to number 59 on the list. There were only 2 school districts in North America ranked in the top 100 in 2017. I didn't put this in here, but we beat them. There are over 38,000 government fleets in North America that are eligible for this award. The award not only recognizes fleet maintenance, but encompasses a review and evaluation of the entire department. The award reviews areas such as the use of technology, creativity, staff development, resource stewardship, accountability, and collaboration, to name a few. Ranking among the best in the Americas is a clear reflection of the hard work of our entire transportation team working to support our community and schools. I would like to specifically recognize Mark Slackhammer, Assistant Director, and Ariel Rodriguez, Fleet Manager, for their hard work and dedication. Mark completes the application every year and is meticulous in ensuring that all items are detailed correctly. If I could get Mr. Lopez, Dr. Fagan, and Dr. Brown back again, we would like to present to you another banner with another year added to it.
That is awesome. Next, we have Norman Funderburk, council member for the City of Humble Council. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Greetings and members of the board and Dr. Fagan, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight as we recognize Heath and Brent at their final board meetings here at Humble ISD. I'm Norman Funderburk, Councilman and Mayor Pro Tem here in the City of Humble. So Heath, first I want to congratulate you on your new role. CEO of not one, but 2 hospitals in the system, Memorial Hermann Katy and Memorial Hermann Cypress. Just like so many, I'm heavily invested in the community and especially in our school district. I care about the makeup of our school board, their decisions, and the well-being of our schools and our students. I'm from here, Humble High School graduate, and my entire family is made up of longtime district employees. And my grandchildren, and there's a bunch of them, are all students here. My perspective is a bit unique, though, in that prior to my time on council, during my time serving on the Northeast Hospital Board of Authority, 15 years in that role, I was able to work with Heath, alongside Heath, with the board as a partner to Memorial Hermann Northeast Hospital, working together, providing support for their programs and initiatives, collaborating. And I was able to observe Heath and watch him grow in his roles. First as Chief Operating Officer and then CEO. I was always impressed with his professionalism, attention to detail, and his ability to connect and relate to people at all levels. Polished and smooth in the boardroom, giving presentations, reviewing data and identifying and explaining trends. Just so stinking smart. But also, always inspiring the individual employee out there on the front lines and having them feel like their contribution in their role was essential and invaluable as part of the team. I noticed how he treated people, his kindness, his consideration. And as a leader, changing culture, not easily done, right? Making the organization more results-oriented and accountable, but always delivering compassionate care with dignity and respect. So I came to know enough about Heath Rushing and Sarah and his wonderful family to know that when he was first considering whether to run for a school board position, I encouraged him because by then I knew how good he was. I knew he'd be a perfect fit in this role. Perfect for us. And when he decided to run, I was all in. And as they say, the rest is history. And with all that work and giving back to the community, there's certainly a long list of accomplishments. I can refer to the city's official proclamation that was made. We actually had Heath Rushing Day when we honored him with a reception earlier during his last week at Memorial Hermann Northeast. So yeah, there's a long list of maybe a record number of the whereas commendations. I could read through them all, but we'd be here for a while. And I can tell you, they all speak to the awesomeness of Heath Rushing. And I know that the community agrees. So Heath, thank you for your leadership, all your hard work, your commitment of time, the sacrifices that you've made, giving back so much to the school district and our community. And thank you, Sarah, and the children for being so kind and sharing him with us. You've been a difference maker for us, for all of us, leaving this a better place, and we love you for it. And I'm proud to have you as my friend. So thank you. We'll miss you, and God bless you and your family. Next, we have Graham Harper and Finn Rushing. And Sarah Rushing is with them.
Hello, my name is Harper Rushing, and these are my brothers. I'm Graham. I'm Sam. I just want to thank my dad, Heath Rushing, for giving his time the last 4 years to Humble ISD. As my brothers know, I don't like sharing, but I guess I was okay sharing my dad with the 42,000 other students. I'm glad the others had a chance to see all the amazing things my dad can do. So Dad, thank you. I look forward to spending some of your new free time with you. P.S. Mom says you are now in charge of dinner, homework, bedtime, and showers the first 2 days. Put it on your calendar.
Okay. Last, Jenna, this is you, wherever. Yeah, Jenna, Millie Garrison, and Tammy Nigro, I believe. Is that right? Okay. In Houston, and Jamie Mount. Houston, the famous Houston Hayes.
All right, good evening. So first, congratulations, Robert, Angela, and Charles on your re-election. We're very proud of you. Brent, I totally forgot to wear my Cornhusker hat. I don't know what I was thinking. I really could have supported you this evening, but we love you. Great job. We're going to miss you. Okay, so now for the roast. Heath, this is on behalf of Jenna Armstrong and the Lake Houston Area Chamber of Commerce. Leadership Lake Houston, class number 1. We're going to need a picture after this with you so that we can get like the record count for an event, because our class never made the numbers. Clearly there's only 5 out of like 26 here. So quickly, Heath, to you. Our Leadership Lake Houston class wanted to congratulate you on your promotion to be CEO of 2 hospitals. Norman stole pretty much the rest of our thunder, although unlike Norman, we're not going to stand up here and make your head any bigger than what we think it already might be. But congratulations on your promotion. We're very, very proud of you. And we wanted to thank you for your dedicated service as a leader in our community. You were the first in our class to receive a promotion, 2 promotions really. I think you started as a service line administrator, then COO, and then became CEO. And of course, the first to run for office or an elected official position, twice successfully. We couldn't be more proud of you. Your leadership as CEO of Memorial Hermann has offered our community more health benefits, better health benefits, and what many people may not realize is in the Memorial Hermann system, the Convenient Care Center, which is down in my service area, Keith's service area, was a one-of-a-kind and was Heath and Lewis being pioneers, and now there's a number of them that are in the Memorial Hermann Memorial Hermann system, and now we have 2 of them, another one in Kingwood, but Heath was instrumental in bringing that to our community. Yes. So we know because of your leadership, you brought so much to us from a healthcare perspective. You have been part of our district and schools to be recognized as the best large district in the state. But you've also been a part of awarding our teachers and our administrators and our students so many opportunities. I just came from my daughter's second National Junior Honor Society induction ceremony, and you know that privilege and that award is not in every school district. So I know it's because of your incredible leadership, and you've been a part of that, Heath. You are a passionate, visionary leader who has led our community and schools to bigger and brighter things.
Congratulations, and you will be missed. We're very proud of you, Heath.
Millie had a story, but we'll roast you later. Anyway, we love you. Congratulations. We're going to miss you. Seriously, we're going to need a picture.
Okay. Next, we have comments by individual board members, and I'm going to start with Ms. Morrison. Yes, someone who wasn't up for election.
First of all, a huge thank you to Stacy Houston. Outstanding. I can remember many years ago when Stacy started, and it was a massive move. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Congratulations to both of you. Also, just a huge congratulations to all the schools at this time of the year. Graduation's about to take hold. We have a lot of happy faces around. Last but not least, Mr. Heath Rushing and Mr. Brent Ingalagi. I'm not sure who's going to, Miss Dixon, I know you're in the audience now. He takes care of me, okay? He's right next door to me, so. But both of you have been two of the most wonderful mentors, and you will definitely be missed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morrison. I'm going to take some executive privilege here, and I'm going to go next. And first, I want to mention Teacher Appreciation Day. I believe that's today. I want to thank all of our teachers for everything that they do. There actually needs to be 365 of those a year, I think, but we just need to, especially this time of year with kids going through STAR tests and everything else, keep your teachers in mind and make sure you buy them those Starbucks gift cards before the end of the year and let them know, just thank you for what they do for our children. I also want to thank Chief Cook and his team. I agree with some of the comments that have been made tonight. This has been a contentious election, and we have felt it personally, and I want to thank him for his staff for looking out for all of us for some of the things that have happened and some of the threats we have received. But thank you, Chief Cook. On behalf of my family, thank you for that. I want to now move to the election. I want to congratulate Robert, Angela, and Charles for the election that you guys ran, and for putting yourselves out there, for keeping the election to the issues you guys did. I appreciate that, and I just want to congratulate you, and I look forward to continuing to work with you guys. So I'm really happy for all of you. And I also want to thank Martina Dixon for running and congratulate her. And I can't wait to begin to work with you, Martina. I really am excited. It's going to be great. Last but certainly not least, I want to, my friends that are leaving the board. First, Mr. Ingalagi, Brent. You know, we have to get hours. The state makes us get these education hours. So we'll have to go to Dallas or Houston or sometimes out of the state to go to these convention things. And sometimes we bring our families. It becomes our vacation. And so it's a great thing to see each other's families, and you basically grow up with their families and I've watched his girls grow up. And because Brent and I have served on the board together for a long time now. What was it? Since 2008. So Brent has been a fabulous board member, fabulous member of the community and just an all-around nice guy. And just like all of us, but Brent especially, he always brings it back, makes sure our focus is always on the children and our kids. And Brent, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done for this community and everything that you've done for this board. Thank you so much. And for Mr. Rushing, and I will echo Norman's sentiments. Heath is going to be missed on this board. He is an extraordinarily bright guy, chair of our finance committee, and he's brought a lot to this board and a lot to this community. And I don't want to repeat everything that everyone else has said, but he will be also greatly missed. But in addition to missing Heath, his wife will be greatly missed. Sarah is a wonderful volunteer, president of her PTA at her school, a wonderful mom and a wonderful member of the community. Humble ISD is losing great assets in both Heath and Sarah, and they truly, truly will be missed. Thank you, Heath. Thank you, Sarah. And that's all I have. Now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Sitton.
All right, I've got several things I want to mention. A lot of things are going on. A lot of things have been going on the last few weeks. First of all, Stacy and Houston, great job with the Fine Arts Festival. My daughter Caitlin's in the audience, and she's in the honor choir at Pine Forest, so they got to sing there. What a great turnout! What a great event! I enjoy going to that every year. Super job. During, I guess it was 2 weeks ago now, I got to present the opening remarks for Students of Character, where we honor the peers, honor someone from each of the secondary campuses, the middle schools and high schools. A true honor for those kids because it is peer-driven. It is not teacher-driven, it's peer-driven. And they are truly the epitome of what we're doing in Humble ISD. So I was very honored to be there for that. I know Riley Franklin's already gone, I believe, but man, what an honor there for her. That was fantastic. Want to congratulate, I'll do that in a second. Athletically, we've got a lot of things happening. Baseball, you have Kingwood High School and Kingwood Park still in the playoffs. Atascocita High School, Kingwood High School, and K Park all in the softball playoffs. You've got Atascocita High School golf for the first time in their history is in the state tournament. We have our state golf tournament. Kingwood High School boys are back in the state golf tournament. K Park is going for, is this their third year in a row? K Park girls, their third year in a row, trying to get another state golf title. Kingwood High School girls are also in the state golf tournament. Humble High School has a young lady and a young man in the state track meet. K Park has a young lady in the state track meet. And for the first time ever, we have a wheelchair participant at the state meet, Jacob Allen from Kingwood Park in the 100 and 400 meter in the wheelchair. Let's see, want to congratulate Martina Dixon. You worked your tail off. You were in a tough race with Low Heat and several others. And congratulations to you. Congratulations to Angela and Charles also for a hard-fought race. Is Courtney still here? Courtney, I couldn't have said it better. Could not have said it better. Thank you very much for your comments tonight. It is time for healing. You're exactly right. Having been here and being part of the divide back when I was growing up, my class was the class that was split when they opened Kingwood Middle School. And there became a divide. And then we came back together, and then we built Kingwood High School, and there became another divide. And so over the years, this community has been very resilient. When things change, we tend to change with it. Change doesn't happen quickly, and it doesn't happen easily. But I am very proud of this community and the way and the resilience over time that we've been able to come back together. So I would recommend all of you look at our history, look at our culture. We're going to be celebrating 100 years of history with Humble ISD in 2019. 100 years. We didn't get there because there weren't pains. We didn't get there because there weren't struggles. We didn't get there because we all agreed all the time. But we got there because at the end of the day, we pulled together to make this community what it is today. And the other thing that we did is we always made sure the kids came first. So I want to implore y'all that going forward, we keep the kids of our community first, and our community second, and ourselves last in that. Because at the end of the day, we have to work together to make this what it needs to be. Lastly, Brent and Heath. Brent, you've been my partner, man. You know, anytime I'm down, all I got to do is talk to you and you lift me back up. You will be missed. You've been a great trustee. You've been a great friend, you and your family. You know, it's amazing to see the growth in your girls. They were little tykes when we got on the board together, and you're going to be missed. But I know you're going to still be in the community, and we'll get to see you a lot. And Heath, I tell you what, I value as much, if not more, as a friend than just a colleague. What your family has brought to this community, in some ways cannot be matched. You've not only been an integral part in the growth of Memorial Hermann, but at the same time, your involvement with the Chamber of Commerce, your wife's volunteerism in the schools. Jen and I value y'all's friendship. I know you're not moving far, but you won't be as accessible as you have been, so we will miss you, and best of luck to both of you.
Ms. Conrad.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Not to repeat some of the other things that have already been shared, so I do want to briefly recognize again our three-peat by our transportation team, and we appreciate you not just settling for being top 100 fleet, but looking for where can we improve and move higher in the list the next year. So great job, and we look forward to additional wins in the future. Also, this news just in. Maybe y'all saw this email, maybe you didn't. But we are excited that this is the first time ever that Humble ISD has a geo filter on Snapchat. Does anybody even know what Snapchat is?
What's a geo filter?
Geo filters are basically overlays that you can use in Snapchat, which is huge at graduation time. So this is made available for our graduation, both at the Humble Civic Center on Friday and then at NRG. So we want to make sure and spread the word that our students are able to, and families that are snapping can use those, apply those geo filters when they are using Snapchat during our graduation ceremony. So I think that's a really cool feature, and I want to thank our Public Information Department for providing that for our students. You know, we got to keep up. Also, I did want to thank everyone for their support during this election. So many different roles were very helpful for me, whether it was just sometimes just encouraging words, and maybe you were working behind the scenes or helping at the polls. Everything you did really helped us to stay focused on our own campaign, and I couldn't be happier to be serving another 4 years, except maybe when I was fishing on the lake yesterday. Martina, congratulations. Welcome aboard. We're happy to have you. I can't wait to work with you. Martina and I ran together in 2013, so we got to know each other quite a lot during that time. So we're excited to work with you. And congratulations, Mr. Sitt and Mr. Cunningham. Glad we get to stay together as a team for another 4 years. I did also want to thank Miss Aiden. I know this was your first election to run, and I don't think anyone would know any different. Everything really ran smoothly. You answered all of our many, many questions, and always very kind and very responsive, and we appreciate the way you handled all of that work, and we probably don't even know what all you did, but thank you. As well as I know a lot of our staff members were also answering a lot of emails and inquiries from media and community members, and I know that took a lot of extra time on you and your staff, and so I know it's a lot on you as well, so I just wanted to thank you for that. Brent, we'll miss you. It's been a pleasure serving with you. It's been a joy to just know that I could always look to you to bring excitement in the room. You're always in a good mood. You could always make us laugh. You knew how to make an awkward situation even more awkward sometimes. You taught me how important a filter is. And, no, really, it's been a joy to get to know you and your family, and I hope we'll still stay involved in getting to know you even better. Mr. Rushing, we were elected at the same time, and for me, I was very fortunate to be elected with you and learn from you and alongside you. You really understood the role coming right in, and it taught me a lot about, it's okay to ask questions and not know everything as a board member, and that really helped me a lot to grow as a board member, and it's been a pleasure getting to know your family, and I just couldn't be prouder of you, and I wish you all the success in the future, and we'll miss you in this community.
Thank you, Mr. President. Beat you to it.
You knew I was going to. All right.
First of all, giving all praises to God, who's the head of my life whole. I want to also thank my wife. Because of her, I'm able to be here to do these things that I do. And she has been behind me 110%. She couldn't be here tonight, but she's with the grandkids, but I wanted to say to her, thank you, and I love her. I want to also thank my adopted hometown of Humble, Norman. Thank you guys so much. Little guy like me moving from Artesia, New Mexico, down to a little place called Humble, just like home. I see a couple of friends out there in the back, Jim and Robin. I want to say thank you guys too. I had asked my good friend Eric Carr to be here. Eric is the president of the African American Police Union, along with my pastor, who is also with the police and clergy. Very supportive during this campaign. I see my other brother back there in the back that's been kind of hiding, Robert Scarfo. Wanted to just kind of give you the shout out. There's so many people, but I just want to say thank you. I've always tried to balance on both sides, and I will continue to do that. I think moving forward, there is a healing that needs to be done, and I'm hoping that it won't take as long as it took to do the splinter. Brent, about to choke up here. Anyway, you, the girls, and the wife, we'll be there. Just call us, and don't let this be the last. But then I want to save the best for last. Heath, Sarah, 4 years, but I tell you, now, Heath, I remember when you was first running, we was over at the Humble Cafe. We had the little sit down and talk. And believe it or not, we've never always agreed. But then again, though, he was always calling me when he was about to blow up. But I want to just say thank you. The last 2 months, you've been that crutch that kind of kept me encouraged. You and Sarah, and I appreciate that so much. I do. But that's it for me, Mr. President. Thank everyone. And let's have a great summer. Thank you.
Mr. Rushing.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, just thank you for all the kind sentiments. Certainly, this is a sad day for me and my family. In some regards, it's the end of a 10-year journey. In other regards, it's a continuation of lifelong friendships that I will certainly cherish forever. being a part of this community and being a member of this board over the last 4 years has brought some of the most rewarding life experiences that I've had in my 39 years. Not 40 just yet, but almost. So, you know, first and foremost, I want to thank my family for all the love and support. As it's been mentioned, you know, they're the real rock behind the work that goes on up here because they allow us to do it. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support. This was actually our first year that we experienced the STAR test, and so Harper came home the first day, after the first day, and what'd you say, babe? She said it was easy. So I was like, there you go. So to me, that meant that the work being done in the classroom is working, and you know, it's certainly just one test to that. But you know, this district has been great to our kids. Almost all 3 of them started kindergarten here, but we did get 2 of them through the district, and so it's just been a really rewarding experience sharing this podium with all of you. To my partner in crime, Mr. Norman Funderburk. I wouldn't be up here without you. So thanks for all your support. To this community, my friends that are here, thank you all for the tremendous love and support. Not only did you support me personally, but also professionally. Showed up here 10 years ago, not knowing anybody, and 6 years ago moved my family up here. They didn't know anybody, but this community embraced us with open arms and made us feel very welcomed. And as really the only way we know how to do things is we jumped in and tried to embrace it back. And so appreciate the opportunity to be a small part of what this great community offers every single day. To my colleagues up here, just a tremendous experience. You guys represent what board work is about and should be about. Robert and Angela and Charles, congratulations. You guys worked hard, never wavered. You earned your victories, and so you went about your business the right way, and congratulations to all of you. Deserve to be up here. Martina, so 2013, those of you that don't remember, we ran against each other. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest blessings in that process was getting to know Martina and her family. And after that election was over, she was the only opponent to call me and congratulate me. So I knew then that if she ever ran again, she was going to have my support. And Martina, you earned your victory. You show what it takes to be successful by building relationships. You spent 4 years of doing that. And this board is going to be much better with you up here. So thank you for running, and best of luck to you. In closing, I just want to say that I'm very proud of my work on this board, and you know, I leave, I think, knowing and having confidence in the leadership team that is here to lead this district forward and into the future. And I look forward to remaining one of your biggest fans. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rushing. Dr. Fagan, comments by the administration? Oh, Oh, Brent, I forgot you? Okay. I'm sorry, Brent. You're hard to miss. I went out of order, and that's why. I apologize. I was trying to give you and Heath the last shebang. I apologize. Brent, go ahead.
Thank you. As it should be. Very good.
Yes, best for last.
Okay, so, thank you all for being here tonight. Thanks for so many smiling faces out there. This is a fun night for me, it really is. Because I had a choice. I could have run, and I think I would have won. I'm not sure. I might have lost, but I made the right choice. To run. So, a lot of people asked me this last few weeks what it's like to be on my kind of last legs on the board, and I said, it's like graduating from high school, I guess. It's where you're excited, but you're going to miss all these friends, but you're really looking forward to what's ahead. I'm really looking forward to what's ahead. There's a lot of fun things. One of the things that I'm going to do starting next month, since I have more time, is I'm joining the choir in my church. Y'all didn't know I could sing, did you? Well, the reason you didn't know that is I can't. So that's why it's a choir. You stand there. There's just a bunch of cool things I'm going to do that I've really kind of put on hold for a while. So I do want to thank my family. They're not here, but that's because I told them not to be here. Both of my daughters are studying for AP finals, and so that's the place they should be. So they've been with me for, oh gosh, I remember telling my wife about running, and she looked at me like she looks at me a lot of times, like, are you freaking kidding me? That's ridiculous. That's going to be horrible. And it was kind of horrible. And, I mean, the running part, not the serving, the running. And the funny story is, my daughters were 7 and 5, like Keith said. We've kind of grown up with this. So the school board is all they've ever really known, for the most part. And I remember my 7-year-old, when I was running, I was putting her to bed one night and saying her prayers with her, and she said, Daddy, can I tell you something that's going to make you mad? And I said, yeah, well, what is it? She said, I just prayed that Mr. Redmond would beat you. That was my main opponent. I had like 4 opponents. I said, why would you do that? And she said, well, you know how you told me and Sydney that if you won, you'd be home more? We don't believe you. So that's how we started. And now they're like, why are you not running again? So we've kind of gone full circle. But thank you to my family. I think one of them is watching tonight. So thank you for watching, Sydney. The administration, cabinet, principals, and employees in general, I just love working with so many of you for so many years. I just enjoyed it so much. Specifically, Dr. Brown, thank you. My partner in the Building and Planning Committee, we've had so much fun over the years. You're an awesome guy. You do a great job. Dutch Gonzo and Peggy, I know they're not here, couldn't close it down without saying thank you to them again. Just wonderful folks. Beverly, gosh, I'm going to miss you. You're really good. I didn't think anybody could take Peggy's shoes. You're really, really good. So thank you for that. Let's see who's on the list. Oh my gosh, Dr. Faye. Oh my goodness gracious. I'll just summarize it by saying, in my 9 years, I have never, ever been prouder of a vote than to hire her as our superintendent. She's an amazing lady. She really is. I'm glad the community is slowly figuring that out, which is a good thing. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for what you're doing, and I look forward to watching the future. Another person who's watching from Austin is my buddy Mike Sullivan. Mike Sullivan was on the school board here, a city council member, Harris County tax assessor collector, and now he's working in private industry. Mike and his family moved across the street from me back in 1995, so I was the first one to meet Mike Sullivan. His daughter, who was 3 at the time, would come into my yard and rake leaves with me, and Mike didn't like that. Which I can't imagine, having a 3-year-old going to a 35-year-old's yard. He didn't like that at all. But he and I became very good friends. He was very helpful. So Mike, thank you for all you've done. The board, thank you so much, guys. Keith, my goodness, this Charles, I do have one story about Charles real quick. So somebody asked me what Charles was like, because they knew the other board members, but they didn't know about Charles. I said, well, let me tell you something about Charles. If I was in a plane that was going down, and there was only 7 life jackets, or no, parachutes, what are life jackets? Parachutes, that's a boat story. Parachutes, and I could keep one, and I could give one to somebody else. I would give that one to Charles. I said, actually, Keith and Keith make a lot more money, so I would probably bid it out to those 2. But I would pray for Charles as that plane's going down. But Charles, I love you, man. Appreciate you. My wife's still mad at me because she loves Stella. She loves everybody's families, but she loves Stella for sure. Robert Scarfield in the corner. Thank you, brother. Enjoyed working together with you. Thanks for all your help on the campaign. And last but not least, this is getting really long, but last but not least, I got to tell you something. In 2013, when I drew in a poem. Oh boy, and it was a tough day one day. I wasn't prepared for this one forum, which I wasn't prepared for most forums. I'm doing most of them, but I remember sitting in this forum. I think it was in Kingwood Country Club, and this one person got up to make an answer, and it was just fabulous. And that person sat down, and I just dropped my head and said a quiet prayer, and I said, Jesus, thank you that Martina Dixon didn't run against me. Lord Jesus, thank you for that favor. Because I knew right then and there, Martina Dixon was like somebody. She was so good. And I kind of just made note to self, watch that woman. And you've done awesome things in our community. And it was so much fun campaigning with you on Saturday at Creekwood. I could not have handpicked a person better to run for that seat. I'm so happy that you ran, and I was happy to support you. Boy, we would. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Brent. Okay, now, Dr. Fagan, comments by the administration.
Thank you. Well, I do want to take a second to just say Happy Teacher Appreciation Week and day, or whatever you said it was. I don't think it's the day, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think today is the...
yeah, it's all right.
Today is Teachers Day.
It's all right.
I know, every day should be.
We're going to go with it. But in any case, you know, I've worked in 4 different states, and I've said this publicly a number of times, and I've never seen a more talented teacher corps than we have here in Humble ISD, and it truly is a quality component of the family and the culture that we have here for children. And so I sincerely want to make sure and celebrate and all of that, the incredible teachers we have. This time of year is very difficult in schools, and it's just a lot of work, and you want to see students succeed and make it to the end, and so they're out there working very hard during STAR testing, all of those things. And it's a great time to celebrate teachers. So I love seeing on Twitter the things that our parents and our community are doing to celebrate teachers and support them this week and all the weeks, but particularly this time of year, because it makes a huge difference. People just don't realize the difference it makes, but it really does. So thank you for that. Also, congratulations to Ms. Conrad, Mr. Sitton, Mr. Cunningham, and Ms. Dixon out there on your reelection. You know, education is uniquely local, and I think that's a positive thing. You know, it's Bill Daggett who says every school district has its own DNA, and I believe that is absolutely the truth. And an important component of that situation is having a board elected by a community to help all of us on the leadership team to provide that policy level direction and give feedback and guidance and give us ideas, and this board does that. I also want to thank all the people who ran and wanted to be part of the leadership of this incredible school district, because it is the community support that is an important component of what makes our school district wonderful for children, including mine too, and Heath. And so I want to say thanks to everyone, because a lot of times people don't remember, or it slips past them, but you know, school board trustees are not paid. They're completely voluntary positions, and the amount of time that they put in is incredible, whether it's serving on committees or attending athletic events or fine arts events, going to fine arts festivals. You know, that was an incredible fine arts festival, by the way. And all of those things take an incredible amount of time, as does running for the seat, et cetera. And then they have their families and their jobs and their lives. And so I just want to say on behalf of my team and on behalf of many other people throughout our district, a sincere thank you to everyone who ran. Your interest in our district is very important. We are here to work together with everyone. And as some people have said, you know, start the healing or whatever that looks like. But we embrace the opportunity to hear feedback always and work together toward where we want to go. And I do believe, and one of the reasons I personally selected this, not only as an educator, but as a parent, this district, is because it is first and foremost about students and about children. And this community wraps itself around children and puts children first, even when it's difficult. And I am very confident that together we will continue to do that and celebrate education the way that we have for almost 100 years. And definitely the next however many we can serve and support children here. So thanks to everyone. Congratulations to those who were victorious in the election. And I look forward to working with everyone as we move forward together as a school district and as an entire community.
Thank you, Dr. Fagan. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a 5-minute break. The main reason why is that I've got to leave and catch an airplane, but also we can let you guys take photographs with families and whatnot. And then when we reconvene, Ms. Conrad will finish up the meeting, but we'll take that break now. Thanks. Oh, no, we're just good.
Hi, it's good to meet you. Thanks for being here. two little girls do too. You did. All right. Oh, no, it's right. Like every. It would kill every time. It's like snow and Mother's Day. I'm like, with the mountains, and if it's upslope, you're in big trouble, you know. I learned a lot about meteorology living in Denver, I'll tell you. I did. It's true. Yeah. Oh, it's good to meet you.
Yes, we would.
Thank you.
Yes, we would.
All right.
That's just her.
Oh, thank you so much. I do. Pete, yes. I do know about that. Yes. Yeah. It's like transferring the paper one day. I've had that. Yes. Yes. Always do. That's right. That's right. If you got, what's the business called like that? Like, if you've got enemies, good. That means you stood for something, you know. Well, I just appreciate that you all have been so supportive. I really do. Well, here's the light. Well, reelect some and to get and oh, that's nice. And so thank you. Yeah, although Sarah was absolutely hilarious the whole time. That's love her.
That was a surprise.
Okay, don't forget me, President.
All right, at this time, we'll reconvene, and I'm going to turn it back to our superintendent for a few comments.
Thank you. I knew Mr. Lopez had to leave, and so I was trying to be timely, but I would be remiss if I didn't take an opportunity to thank Mr. Angelagi and also Mr. Rushing. I didn't get to work for you long enough, but I certainly appreciated the months that I did have with both of you. The interview process with you was very thorough and very funny, and there were times when Mr. Inglagi saved the day with when we were headed in a wrong direction as a group, but I certainly appreciate that. And Mr. Rushing, that was my first and only opportunity to interview in the dark, so thank you for that at Memorial Hermann when the lights went out. And I don't know if that was planned or not, it may well have been, but I think that Mr. Cunningham and Mr. Rushing really, yeah, they got the lights back on. So, but in any case, it hasn't been long enough, but I really appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to serve the students and community here. It's been absolutely my pleasure, and I'm looking forward to continuing and working with both of you in your new path forward, if you will. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fagan. That takes us to our next item, which is consideration of and action on items addressed in closed session. Do we have a motion? Or motions?
Yes, Madam Chair. We are going to, if you bear with me here, we've got a lot here. First of all, let's start it off here. As to, in the closed session, as to the contract renewals, I move that the board approve the superintendent's contract recommendations presented in the contract renewal listing dated May 9th, 2017 for the school year 2017-2018 of administrators, teaching professionals, and non-teaching professionals to renew or issue certain one-year term contracts, probationary contracts, and part-time contracts.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, also, Madam Chair, as to the termination of probationary contracts, I move that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation presented in the contract non-renewal listing dated May 9th, 2017 for the school year 2017-2018. That is, in the best interest of the district, to terminate the employment contracts of certain employees currently employed under the probationary contract and authorize the superintendent to send appropriate notice of the board's intention to terminate the probationary contracts at the end of the 2016-17 school year.
Second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor?
As to the non-renewal of term contracts, I move that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation presented in contract non-renewal listing dated May 9th, 2017 for the school year 2017-2018 for the non-renewal of the employment contracts of certain certified professional full-time employees currently employed under the term contract, and authorize the superintendent to send appropriate notice proposed of non-renewal and to schedule a hearing if requested, and to do so under all other things necessary related to preparing for and holding such a hearing.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
As to the non-renewal termination of part-time contracts, I move that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation presented in the contract non-renewal listing dated May 9th, 2017 for the school year 2017-18, that the district should not reissue employment contracts of certain employees currently employed under a part-time contract, and authorize the superintendent to advise such employees that their employment with the district will terminate at the end of the current contractual period.
Motion and second. All in favor?
And as to the non-renewal / termination of contracts for certification reasons, I move that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation presented in the contract non-renewals listed dated May 9th, 2017 for the school year 2017-18, that the district should not reissue the employment contract of certain employees currently employed under a contract due to certification reasons, and authorize the superintendent to advise such employees that their employment with the district will terminate at the end of the contractual period.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
And as to the regular agenda, I move that the board approve the remaining personnel recommendations recommended by the superintendent as presented in closed session with addendum.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor? All right, we'll let Mr. Cunningham catch his breath as we move to the next item.
Ready to go, Madam Chair.
All right.
As to the minutes, Move that the board approve the minutes of the regular board meeting held on April 11, 2017.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Awesome. Okay, that brings us to our updates by board associations and committees, and we'll begin with our audit committee, Mr. Ingalagi. Mr. Cunningham.
This one's easy, no report.
No report. There we go. Okay, and the board superintendent evaluation process and goals committee, also no report. Building and planning committee.
We didn't have a meeting, as you know. We had a big breakfast with the board, so that was sort of our meeting. And you guys got to thank you for that, for your staff. It was really a nice way to finish up. So thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Mr. Ingalagi. Education Foundation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to repeat this anyway for those that wasn't here last month on the Foundation Gala that we had. We all enjoyed seeing Carly Kennedy of Atascocita High School being named Humble ISD Teacher of the Year and winning that brand new Buick Encore from Texan Drive. So we want to do a special thanks to our good friend, Bert Brocker, for making that happen. Second on the list here, this is toward the end of the year when Santa Claus is coming. It's not December. But the foundation received 273 grant applications this year from Humble ISD employees with creative and innovative ideas to get students engaged in learning. A committee made up of community members, donors, foundation board members have selected the projects to be awarded. The funds, we are now inviting all of you to join the prize posse on Friday, May 19th, next Friday. The posse rolls out from the administration parking lot here at 8:30 a.m. We'll spend the next 4 hours bursting into classrooms, announcing to the educators that they've won a grant. It's a great day for Humble ISD. I'm hoping that those that are here, still here, hoping you can join us. And if you feel encouraged to do so, we would ask that you would call the Humble ISD Community Development Department, RSVP. Their number and email address can be found on the district website. And that's all I have from the foundation, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. How about the Kingwood Super Neighborhood Council?
No report.
No report. And
Finance Committee.
no, I skipped right over the Finance Committee, Mr. Rushing.
Well, no real report, other than I will be signing off as your chairman tonight. But just again, thanks to Mike and his team for guiding us through what is still a work in progress for sure. But I know you guys have some workshop calendars out there, and I'm sorry that I can't make it through the June meetings as I had hoped to present a final budget to you, but I know you guys are going to take great care of it, and we'll get it done. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rushing. Would you have a date on our next meeting? Just 30th? September 30th? May 30th. May need to approve a budget before then. May 30th.
May 30th,
Okay.
We'll be presenting the full body of the budget. We still won't know for sure. Even if the legislature has passed the funding legislation, we won't know what that means for a few weeks, but we'll have all the elements of the expense side of the budget in place by May 30th. Y'all just stole 3 months from me. I got to go back and go to work.
Awesome. All right, our legislative committee, Miss Nancy Morrison.
Okay, well, speaking of budget, okay, well, we know the House, that HB 21 is on its way to, or in the Senate per se. So we're kind of in lingo, so everybody just keep tabs on the information. So we're going to keep it short tonight.
All right, thank you. Our program committee, Mr. Sitton.
Well, I'm going to stay with the theme of celebrations tonight. This individual came to us 5 years ago, and he and I have become very close over the last 5 years, working with program evaluation. It kind of started under Mr. Cunningham's watch, and they asked me to take it over when I got on the board. And then when we brought in Dr. Price, things really started taking off. we started looking at every program throughout the district, looking at its efficiencies, its relevance. How can we improve it? What needs to expand? How do we need to look at the budget, and so forth. And I've learned so much from Dr. Price since he's been here about education, and learned a lot about character as well. And I'm pleased to call you my friend. I'm pleased also, if you haven't heard, to announce that Dr. Price has been named the lone finalist for the superintendent job in Bernie ISD. Under his tutelage, Robin Perez, who was his direct report earlier this year, was named superintendent of Nederland ISD as well. So, Dr. Fagan, your cabinet is so strong that people are looking for him. And again, that's a tribute to the history and culture of Humble ISD, but it's also a tribute to the character of the folks that we employ here. And so, Dr. Price, I want to thank you for the last 5 years. I want to thank you for, again, your friendship, your tutelage, and everything that you've meant to Humble ISD. And so, that's my program eval report for tonight.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sitton. And finally, the Technology and Data Governance Committee, we met last week, talked about some of our summer projects. We talked about our wireless as a service. I think y'all kind of he gave us a little bit of a briefing on that at our board breakfast. So we talked a little bit more about the wireless project and some of the issues that we've had. We looked at some of the technology upgrades and projects that are scheduled for this summer. And you want to share with them how they can stay up to date on the progress of those summer projects?
Of course.
Dustin?
So, as we know, we're spending a lot of money this summer for technology upgrades. And to be as transparent as possible, we can't what that money's going to. A lot of times we do things and what is technology spending money on. On our webpage on the humbleyc.net, you go to Departments Technology. There's a whole site for summer 2017 updates. It will have all of our projects that we're doing, constant updates, hopefully daily, if not weekly updates. And if there's something, especially the network infrastructure upgrades, we're posting pictures of before and after on what those closets look like, as well as the speed differences that we're seeing at the campuses. So this will be open to the public. Anybody can go on the website and take a look at that.
Now you shared with us that you completed at one campus already, and there was a noticeable difference. I don't remember the numbers. But.
Yes, we kind of did a proof of concept campus at Northville Elementary, and the speed differences in internet speed alone went, the download speed was at 93 megabits per second. After the upgrade, it jumped up to 579 megabits per second. So there's night and day difference.
It's amazing. I know our administrators in the room are wondering when you're going to get to their campus, right? So they can monitor that on your website. So y'all have any other questions? Technology. Yeah. We do have one item on tonight's agenda, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. So that's it for our board associations and committees. That moves us to our consent agenda, which I will try to keep organized here. So what do? I just announce it and y'all pull it maybe. Right. So our first item is under the governance reports and consideration. Item A, TASB update 107. All right. Item B, TASB update 107, policy DEE local. Item C, policy FFA local. Moving to, there's no items in the superintendent's division reports, consideration purchases. Under learning division reports, considerations and purchases, item A, interlocal cooperation contract with University of Texas at Austin. Item B, Quest Early College High School interlocal agreement. Item C, dual course credit partnership agreement. Item D, purchase exceeding 50,000 in aggregate and/or 25,000 individually, specifically.
Pull that.
Hold on, I'm on the wrong side. Gotcha. Item E, ACT District Testing Program for fall. Item F, College Preparatory Math and English Courses, Memorandum of Understanding between Humble ISD and Lone Star College. Item G, purchases exceeding 50,000 in aggregate and/or 25,000 individually, specifically for DataVox. Under Financial Services Division Reports, Considerations, and Purchases, Item A, Tax Refunds. Item B, Waiver and P&I. Item C, Intergovernmental Cooperative Purchasing Agreement, National IPA. Item D, Budgetary Amendments and Transfers.
Pull that one.
Under Support Service Divisions, Reports, Considerations, and Purchases, Item A, Construction and Construction-Related Purchases. Under District-Wide Reports, Considerations, and Purchases, Item A, Goods, Professional Services, and Non-Construction Services exceeding 50,000 in the aggregate or 25,000 individual. Okay, so that means we go back to.
Madam Chair,
Oh,
I'd like to make a motion that the board approve the following items by consent. Under government's considerations, items A, B, and C. Under Learning Division Reports, Considerations, and Purchases, items A, B, C, E, F, G. Under Financial Services Division Reports, Considerations, items A, B, and C. Under Support Services Reports, Consideration, and Purchases, items A. And under District-Wide Reports, Consideration, and Purchases, items A.
we have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Well, we don't, we go to back to. All in favor?
Got it.
All right. So now we go back to those items that were pulled, which would be item 6D, purchases exceeding 50,000, specifically for micro integrations. That was, Anita.
So moved.
Dr. Fagan, could you and Dustin kind of talk about, address this? It looks like, does this have something to do with what we voted on in April?
Yes, in April, there were two action items. One was a budget action to do amendments and transfers of assigned fund balance for summer projects. Basically, Mike Still and his department transferred money into technology's budget, including this $4.5 million last board meeting to make the purchases for the network upgrades. The other action item was approving or awarding the RFP to microintegrations. This action item this month in May is basically just completing the purchasing process of merging the vendor who we awarded this to and that money together, saying that we're going to spend the money with this.
Okay, so it's not a duplicate, it's just.
Correct, it's just completing the purchasing.
Just the process, just for the legal process, okay.
The contract.
And you also mentioned this is a E-ratable expense.
Correct, so in the fall, springtime frame, we have some funds for the federal government sitting out there right now and unutilized in the past. We're at 30-ish% eco-disadvantaged district. We've gone to a 50% reimbursement rate. So however much money we spend on microintegrations that is eligible for E-rate, we're assuming about 4 million of that's going to be eligible. We'll be getting half of that back. We should be getting a check back from the FCC and USAC for $2 million.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, all in favor? Okay, let's move to our other item, item 7D, budget amendments and transfers, including revenue for dual credit, and increase for bond payments.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I don't remember who pulled that. Mr. Sitton, was that you?
Yeah, I pulled that. I wanted to, Dr. Fagan and Mr. Seal, I want to look at some things that were brought up earlier tonight as well. It's under budgetary amendments A-2, looking at the chart and the 48, almost $49 million. Can we?
If it's okay, Mr. Seal's prepared to do a brief little presentation to bring everyone up to speed on what that is and what it means, as well as the budgetary amendments associated.
Perfect, thank you.
I will try to be brief. I'm going to give you the kind of the Reader's Digest version, because for those of you who have been on the board for a long time, and most of y'all have been on there a number of years, we have workshops on this throughout the year to explain our a little bit school district complex budgeting process. In June of each year, the board adopts what we call our continuing budget. That's the budget that we can fund through regular continuing revenue that we receive from the state and local property taxes. That's the budget that we use to cover continuing operating expenses like teacher salaries, paying our utilities, paying ongoing transportation, all the things that happen day to day throughout the year. And that we've been given a directive by this board, and we've followed that directive since long before I was here, that we were going to have a balanced continuing budget. And the reason that you do that is because you want to make sure that you put programs in place. If you say, let's hire 10 new teachers, you're not paying those salaries out of a savings account. You're paying those salaries out of continuing revenue so that you can pay them the next year and the next year as new revenue comes in. Then after we adopt the budget in June, we come back starting in as early as July, but this continues throughout the year, and it kind of culminates with what we did in April that y'all discussed a minute ago. We look at what we call capital expenditures, one-time expenditures, expenditures that we don't want to fund through the operating budget, because to do so would mean we would be taking money away from a teacher's salary. We would be taking money away that we needed to pay for student materials and supplies and so forth. So again, the continuing budget comes from continuing revenue. The budgets that we adopt throughout the year, we look at our savings account balance. And if you look at our budget amendment report that we give you each month, and I think that's available to the public, you will see that that $49 million, which was discussed as an increase or an amendment to the budget, and technically that's exactly what it is. That's an amendment to take money out of savings account for one-time expenditures. The one-time expenditures that we're looking at, for instance, are funding of the technology program. As the speaker mentioned, they're loaded up on facilities, technology, and security. One-time expenditures. We're not hiring police officers with those funds. We are not paying the utility bills with those funds. We're not paying our monthly internet fee with those funds. We're taking care of infrastructure. We're taking care of replacing roofs. We're taking care of buying new police cars, putting in security vestibules. We're taking care of doing the things that would be a great burden on the operating budget, would shortchange our students on day-to-day operations if they were included there. And frankly, things that we would hope to be able to avoid at some point in the future, or let me put it this way. These are long-term expenditures. These are expenditures that are going to benefit us for the next 15 or 20 years. So at some point in the future, when we pass a bond referendum, you will see this draw on savings reduced. We're having to do so much of this as a bridge to the next bond referendum. Nobody's fault. It's the right thing to do, but I'm just explaining that it's particularly high in these years as you approach a bond referendum, because you've tailed off all of the money from the past bond referendum, and you've got to take care of those items in some fashion.
I think it's absolutely appropriate to say we are going to save money so that we can pay for this roof rather than going to the bank and borrowing money to pay for that roof. And just a side comment I'd like to make about it, about a question that was asked. Do we have the proper priorities when we're using the money for facilities, for technology, and for security? That's security, technology, and facilities that goes for our students. If our students on campus aren't secure, if they don't have a roof over their head that's not leaking or falling in on them, if they don't have the technology they need to learn, then we're shortchanging our students. So I would argue that our priorities are exactly where they need to be when we use money that's only available one time to spend on one-time expenditures to provide our students with the facilities, the security, and the technology they need. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And I say, as I say to everybody, this is a complicated topic. Budgeting for school districts is much different than it is anywhere else. And I invite anyone from the community or the press or anywhere else that's confused by this topic to sit down with me, and we'll validate exactly what I've said tonight.
So two things, the 49 million was not a shortfall in the budget.
Absolutely not.
And by law, if we're moving money from fund balance to pay these one-time expenses, it has to come to us in the form of a budget amendment. Is that correct?
That's right. And every, I can tell you, or I can tell the community, you already know this, we come to you with a list that comes from our technology department, from our police department, and from Roger's department that says, here are the things that we would like to use savings account or fund balance to take care of. Every one of those items is something that would have appeared as a request on the next bond referendum had we not paid for them in this fashion. But it's a detailed listing that goes to the board. One other little piece that I'll talk about here is the importance of summer projects. We started this last year. Our year end is June the 30th. We have to have these, we can't wait until July the 1st or June the 30th to adopt a budget for these one-time expenditures, because then the first month of your summer is gone. And even with that said, a lot of these projects will not be completed during this summer by June the 30th. So the first $24 million worth of what we are talking about as budget amendments, that was a reauthorization of $24 million that we approved for summer projects that were not completed by June 30th. That rolls into your savings account, and the board has to reauthorize that money, and it shows up as a budget amendment. The terminology is absolutely correct. It is a budget amendment. We have to follow the state's guidelines and terminology and accounting principles. But of that $48 million, basically half of that was authorized in a prior year, was work that was underway, and probably 95% of that was completed before school started, but not by the end of our last budget year, which was June the 30th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Steele. Any other questions? All in favor? All right, that just leaves our information items. We have one on item 4D, proposed revisions to policy DNA local. Anyone has any questions on that? Or item 7E, our financial services reports. No questions? Then we will move to the final item, which is future board business. Anyone have any items that should be posted for future board business? Budget workshop, May 30th. All right. With that, we're adjourned.